I like to find topics of discussion that nobody else brings up. This is a shot I did last night. It's at 8,000 ISO, and while that's pretty high, for the D500, the usable shots, even upwards of 15,000, basically twice this, are extremely usable. This is a 20mm 1.8 at f2, and it's not even that slow of a shutter speed. It's 1/100th of a second. And I'd like to discuss something called You Can't Get There From Here. You're not going to be doing drag racing in a Volkswagen, and you're not going to be doing skydiving off the top of your roof. And the D500 really does, seriously. This is all handheld, too. There's no monopod here, there's no tripod. This is all handheld. You can't get there from here. The D500 really does open up a new arena of photography that you could do before, but I've been doing it for years, but it's a genuine pain in the crotch. And I love doing this type of photography, but packing the tripod around and doing half-second exposures, whatnot, in extremely low light is a real pain in the fanny, especially if you want to do a lot of them. It's just too damn much, and maybe I'm quintessentially lazy, and that's fine, but nobody really wants to do that. This one is at 5,000 ISO, 1/100th of a second. At f2, it's not even at f1.8. The shots are beautiful. Just walk around. Here's what you have with the D500 that you can't do with the D750, you can't do with the D7100, you can't do with the D810, is handheld, walk around, nightscape photography. Cityscapes especially. I love the sort of photography. It's beautiful. It's so much fun. But with a tripod, it's just a genuine pain in the crotch. Okay? It just is. You have two factors. I already showed you a video last week where I was getting autofocus acquisition on something I couldn't even see. I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face, but I was still doing autofocus acquisitions, and I was getting decent shots at 40,000 ISO. It has to be said, what sort of photography are you doing if you're actually pointing a camera at something you can't even bloody well see? Obviously, I could see this in the shot that I took last night, obviously so. But this is handheld, and this isn't that extreme of a high ISO limit for usable clear shots out of the Nikon D500. Late night cityscape photography or places, theaters, rock concerts, where you can't bring a flash. Cameras allowed, but flash photography is not allowed. This really is an arena that exists for every other camera, but which is a pain in the fanny. It's just flat out, it's a pain in the butt. Period. You have two things with the Nikon D500 that you don't have with other Nikons or other camera systems. You have -4 EV on the autofocus acquisition. Is -3 EV on the D750, for example. So you have a stop better performance on autofocus acquisition. I actually think it's higher than that. But those are the empirical stated facts on the D500. -4 EV on autofocus. That's a stop below what your meter's range is through your viewfinder. Additionally the post-sensor signal processing is incredible. Obviously, you can use computer-aided noise reduction software to do much better, but the actual in-camera noise reduction signal processing is incredible. These are not that high of an ISO. This one is what, 5,000 ISO, 1/25th of a second? I love this sort of photography. And I don't want to pack around a damn tripod to do it. The fact that I can walk around at 10 o'clock at night and use even far, far less lighting than this. Far, far less. No doubt. Far, far less lighting than this at, say, 10,000 ISO. 10,000 ISO on the Nikon D500 looks beautiful, straight out of camera. That's not even to mention what you could do with it in Lightroom. Not even to mention. Straight out of camera. Beautiful. Okay? Much higher than this. That is basically a new arena of photography that you can do with the D500 that you can't do with the other Nikons. Well, you could do it, but it's a giant pain in the fanny. It just is. I want to strap a camera on, no tripod, no monopod, go out late night, no speed light, take beautiful, crisp, clear shots like this. that even at 10,000 ISO, that I know that the autofocus system will nail the shot, but also that extremely high ISO, which is applied gain, the shots will look beautiful straight out of camera, and much more additionally so in processing in Lightroom or whatever it is you plan to use. And this is something nobody else has mentioned. Those two factors, the autofocus acquisition ability at -4 EV in the D500 and the incredibly good high ISO capability of the D500, means I could do one of my favorite photographies, which is late night city crawling with no damn tripod and no damn monopod. And to me, that is happiness. Okay? It's just flat out happiness. You may not love that sort of photography, but I do. And I don't want to pack a tripod around doing it. I don't. I don't want to sit there and plug in a remote shutter release or plug in a wired shutter release and do this sort of stuff. I've been doing it for years because I love doing this sort of photography. Handheld, awesome. Thanks to Nikon for letting this be the case. Camera and lens only, and my feet, nothing else. Period. No argument. End of story.